Okay, so what's up guys? It's been a long time since I actually made one of these real life videos. And this is recorded on a webcam, not an actual camera, so if the audio quality sucks, I'm really sorry, but it's a webcam, so at the end of the day, there's not really a lot I can do about it. Today I'm going to talk about the difference between playing to learn and playing to win. And what I would define as playing to learn is basically maximizing sort of the efficiency of your champion pool and understanding the game in general. If you actually play to learn, the chances are you won't gain elo very quick at all, if at all. But at the end of the day, once you start actually gaining elo, then you'll gain it at a steady pace and you won't ever sort of hit a brick wall where you realise that you're not actually very good at the game and you only got carried there with playing certain champions, such as me playing Udyr. Playing to win is basically when you play something like Udyr. In my case, I will freely admit I played to win the game when I played Udyr, still do nowadays. Or playing something like Zed or Kha'Zix. Now, in my games at like 2000 elo, I play with quite a few players where they make very questionable plays and just calls in general, and I'm sat there thinking like, how is this guy at my elo when he doesn't even understand the basic concept of stuff like Baron calls? Like, that's the biggest one at my elo, where people, they just make the strangest Baron calls I've ever seen, and there's no logic behind them. There's no like, okay, 3 people died on their team, let's go take Baron. It's just like, okay, we have no oracles, we have no vision of Baron, let's run at Baron while 5 people are alive and we can't see anyone on the map. And then they sort of seem to think that it's a great idea to do. And then when I tell them like, no, that's an awful idea, there's no advantage to taking Baron at the moment, they're like, why? And they just don't seem to understand why. And then you go and look at their champion history, or like champion pool, whatever, after the game, and you see like 150 games Kha'Zix and 140 games Zed, and then like Soraka 5 games as their 3rd most played champion. And then you understand, sort of, this guy probably abused the fact that Blade of the Ruined King was massively overpowered for a short period of time, and gained elo like that. And then they're the kind of players that I would call playing to win players, because they eventually hit a brick wall and then they suddenly, I said that really weird, suddenly start just dropping elo for no reason, and they don't really understand why, because they don't realise they're playing to win. I was like this with Udyr in Season 2 and sort of Season 3 a little bit, but not really in Season 3. In Season 2 I sort of hit a brick wall right at 2000 elo, because while Udyr was good, he wasn't top tier, and people understood sort of like how to not die by Udyr, I guess, at that elo. And eventually that happens with everything. Like Grace Taric, I'm pretty sure if you played Grace Taric to like 1700, so you started at 1200 and you played to 1700, your profile would say you were a 1700 player, but at the end of the day, like, if you got into a 1700 elo game and you couldn't pick Grace Taric, then you wouldn't actually be a 1700 elo player at all. You'd just be a 1700 elo Grace Taric player, which is a massive difference because you don't have that game knowledge and just general game sense of a 1700 elo player. Now, following on from that, I often get the question on my split pushing videos, like, how do you know when to split push and when to back? And things like that, just in general game sense questions. And I can never really answer them because, honestly, the real answer is you play enough games doing that kind of strategy and you understand the game to that level where you just know in your head. Like, you can say, you can look at a map and you can say, okay, one person here, one person here, one person here, one person here. And you don't have any vision of them, obviously, but you can just sort of guess where they might be judging by how they play and the reads you've taken of them, of the game really, and what would be logical to you where they would be. And that's something you can't really teach, it's just something you have to learn by getting better at the game. Now, obviously, I have a guide called How to Gain Elo Effectively, which is playing Grace Taric, and I don't think there's a problem doing this, but people need to understand that if you're playing to gain elo, you're not going to end up a better player at the end of the day. You're simply going to artificially inflate your elo. Now, if you're one of the many people that think that you're stuck in elo hell, or you should be higher elo, and you need a way to sort of prove yourself, I guess, that you can play at higher elos, then by all means play to win, because there's no reason not to play to win if you feel like you deserve to be a higher elo. And then when you get higher elo, you'll probably realise that actually, in reality, you didn't deserve to be that high, and where you were originally was actually probably your skill level. Now that sounds quite harsh, and that's pretty much it at the end of the day. Like, the difference between playing to win and playing to learn is, in the short term, playing to win is going to make you a higher elo player, but eventually you're going to hit a brick wall and then not know how to get past it, because your overpowered, or I don't know what the word would be, cheesy, gimmicky tactics stop working because people are smart enough and good enough at the game to realise what you're doing. For example, Graves Taric really falls off about 2000 ELO when people have the reactions to press exhaust on Graves before you can actually get your combo off. That sounds like a really, really basic thing, but at the end of the day, you know, that's actually all it takes to stop Graves Taric. And if you don't die before level 6 against Graves Taric and you buy the right items, it no longer becomes this effective sort of one-hit kill everybody tactic. And once you can't one-hit anybody as Graves Taric, you lose a lot of your laning power, and people start playing things like Sivir Lulu against you, and then you just can't do anything because they spell shield the Taric stun or they Lulu ultimate after you get the Taric stun, and then you don't have the damage to kill them, and they just turn around and sort of kill you. At low reloads this doesn't happen because it takes more skill to pull off, and people don't have the skill to pull it off at low reloads, and the reactions, I guess. This has gone on for 6 minutes now, and hopefully it's given you some things to think about in terms of how you play the game in general. And I'll probably make a follow-up video to this explaining sort of more properly, I guess, the concept of this. I just wanted to make this video and put it out there just as a basic, like, think about what you're doing and how you're actually playing the game rather than playing to gain elo, because if you play the game to learn the game, you will end up a much, much, much better player. Thank you for watching this video. I don't know what that delay was, I just thought I'd just sit here for a bit. Yeah, thanks for watching this video and hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll go more in depth on this in a later video.